Hi, students. Let's go over these practice problems. Number one says, Mrs. Snow's students wrote down a whole number between 1 and 10 on a slip of paper. She collected the numbers and displayed the data in the dot plot below. So here we go. So here's some observations. We can see that the minimum is 1, maximum is 9, the mode which occurs most often, the number that occurs most often, in this case is 6. The range, well, it's the difference between the minimum and the maximum, so it's going to be 8, because 9 take away 1 is 8. And the median is the middle number, and again, it's you can count the number of dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So there's 24 students, as we see here. Well, the halfway point will be 6. I'm sorry, the median happens to be 6 because the halfway point is 12, which means it's going to be the 12 and the 13th entry. So if we start from one side and then work our way to the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. In this case, both are 6, so it's going to be 6. We'll explain that in a second problem here coming up. Next part, which observation above best describes the typical number selected by the students in the class? Explain. All right, typical is a tricky thing because what's typical, depending on how you define typical or what you're looking for or you need, it can be different things. But here is an example, or here's an explanation that I found that does a really good job at describing different ways of what it means to be typical. So here we go. The 3 distinct calculations associated with the measure of central tendency are the mean, median, and mode. Each measurement is an attempt to capture the essence of how a typical entry or number in the data set may look like. The idea is to compute a single value that can represent the entire elements of the set. All right. In this case, you could say 6 is the typical entry because it happens to be both the median and the mode. All right, so those are the central tendencies, the one that comes up often or that's in the middle and can capture the essence of the data set. Usually you go by median if you had to choose. Mode is helpful at other times, but just to simplify things, think what's the median? In this case, it's 6, and the mode happens to also be the same. So 6 is a good choice. Question 2, same problem. Explain how you would find the median of this dot plot. So I kind of just talked about this, but we'll go over it one more time. You count the total dots. In this case, it's 24. So the 2 dots in the middle would be the 12th and 13th points. Count the dots from smallest to largest until you find the 12th and 13th points. In this case, they happen to be both 6. So you could start here and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So here's 12 and here's 13. So it's going to be these 2 in the middle. Okay. Some of you might bounce back and forth from the largest to the smallest. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you do, you're going to come back into, you'll get the 12th and the 13th one in the middle. You'll end up at the same point. Now, since there's 2, I have to take the average. However, since there's both 6, I know the average is going to be 6, but let's just go through and do the process anyways, just for clarity's sake. If I take 6 plus 6, add those together, I get 12, and then I divide that by 2, I get 6. So the median is 6. All right. Question 3. Move the cards below to show how to find the median of the dot plot. What is median? Okay, well, just to let you know, these are the same values from the problem before. If I were to an alternative way yet again to find the median is you can list out the number for each of the dots in order and then count and however you'd like. So here, notice I have 1, 1, 3 2s, 2 3s, 1 4, and so on. And that's what I have here. So I put the cards in order: 1 1, the 3 2s, the 2 3s, the 1 4, and so on. And now it's a lot easier. I can just count. I can count. Again, there's 24 cards. I need to find the 12th and 13th. Well, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's my 12th one. So this would be my 13th one. And then I would take the average of those two numbers. All right. So again, putting them in order, or listing them out, then putting them in order, and then finding the 2 in the middle, or 1 in the middle, if there's an odd number of data in your set. Okay, new situation. The US class is also pen pals with the Russian class. For exercise 6 through 9, use the bar graph below. Okay, so here's the lengths of the Russian names. So now we're not using dots, we're using bars. Which value for name length occurs most frequently? What is the summary statistic called? Okay, which value for the name length occurs most frequently? Well, now I can't count dots, but what I have to do is I have to look here at the y-axis and see how far the bar goes up, and then look over and then see how the frequency of that. So a name here, for example, the name with 11 numbers and 11 letters in the name happens to be 2. 12, it's 3. With letters with 13 letters in it is names with 13 letters in them happen to be 5, and so on. Okay, so the name length that occurs most often is 15, right here. It's the highest bar, pretty straightforward. It's 6 names, it occurs 6 times, and that is the mode. All right. The summary statistic, because that's what the definition of mode is, the one that occurs most often. Same scenario. Second question: how many Russian students are in the data set? Explain how you found your answer. So by looking at this, I can count up, and it's going to be 30. How do I know? Well, one way is I can list it all out, like we did with the sorting cards. Notice I have 2 students with 11 letters in their name. So I write 11 twice, 11, 11. I have 3 for 12, so 12 three times, and I do that so on. And then once I've got them listed out, I can just count them up, and that's going to give you a total of 30. Okay. A second way to do it is I know that I have 11 twice. So I just write 2, because I have 12 3 times. I have 13 5 times. I have 3 14s. I have 6 15s. I have 5 16s. I have 2 17s. And I have 1 18. I have 2 students who have 19 letters in their name. And I have 1 student with 20 letters in their name. Okay. And then I just total it up. And that's also going to give me 30. So I knew to do that because I'm looking for the total number of students in the class. All right, next question. Explain how to find the range of numbers in this data set. What is the range? Hardest part with the range is remembering what it means. So the definition of range of a set is the difference between the minimum and the maximum. The minimum is 11 and the maximum is 20. So 20 take away 11 gives me 9. Therefore, the range is 9. So I just look here. I can see the highest bar. I can see where the lowest bar starts, and I just subtract the 2. Where this can get confusing as well is on my number line, I see 21 and I see 8, and those are higher and lower. And do I do 21 take away 8, or do I do 20 take away 11? Well, although there is an 8 and a 9 and a 10 here, notice that there's no one with that length of name. So that is not a piece of data in our set. Same with 21. There's nobody who has 21 letters in their name, so I'm not counting that. It's just here to help me organize my number line. So that's why the minimum is 11 and not 8, and the maximum is 20, not 21. All right, a last one we're going to go over is the same scenario, different question. Explain how you would find the median of this data set. Will the median of this data set be the one number in the middle, or will it be the average of the two middle data points? How can you tell quickly? All right, well, once again, I could list all the numbers out and see that there's 30 of them, and then I can count up to the middle numbers, okay? And the median is going to be 15. The reason is that there are 30 names in the set, so there are two middle names, the 15th and the 16th number. Both of those names are lengths of 15. I know that there's going to be two in the middle because 30 is even, and so there's not going to be a middle number in there. The odd numbers, if there was 31, then I would only have one number in the middle. It'd be the 16th one, and you'd have 15 on one side and 15 on the other. But that's not how, so there's no true middle. I have to have, there's two numbers in the middle, the 15th and the 16th. All right, so once again, the pattern we've seen now is you just cut that number in half. So 30 is cut in half. I have 15, and I just take 15 in the next one. All right, so hopefully this helps break down what the data in the bars and in the dots actually are what the data set is when they're actually listed out, and how to find the median and the mode. And hopefully this has helped. Have a great rest of your day.